Morning. Just a question. Into it to be right. So we are Last Caretaker, and we are pulling up Helios, which is a energy slash solar panel installation. I see that over there. It generates images. I'm trying to figure out which side of the space I want to come up on. All right, The Last Caretaker is a science fiction survival crafting game. We are a little robot who is saving humanity by breaking down and recycling the debris of human civilization. Yeah. Over here, jump zones. You have a little ship, and you float around the ocean. It is a 3-hour tour. Well, more than a 70-hour tour. To be honest. I don't actually think I'm thinking it's not good. Let's swing around and see if there's an actual parking spot. Alright, we got ourselves a bunch of pretty good there. This is one of the points of interest. It is a energy installation. The last one we visited in the last episode was a diesel depot, fuel depot, and you could refill one source of power on their ship. I think they want us to dock with it. Yeah. It looks like it has some cables. It's down a little. Working the boat is always an adventure. Sometimes the most interesting adventure in life. It's not so much going forward that's the help. It's going backwards. Exactly. And yes, we shit back up. Right. I thought the rudder pointed in the right direction. Which is more than I can do sometimes. It's you can. And then the weather. On the plus side, nothing attacked me yet. This is actually an early level point of interest. And so and I am at the end again. So I believe this is going to be fairly good. Let's anchor. Jump away. Out the door. And righting ourselves. Back down. Now. Alright. There's really just one. So Yeah. Mooring cable. Pulls the closer to the dock. Here. Lift the anchors. That yellow thing up front there. It's giving us a lot of spin. Okay. That building over there is probably where the power thing. Oh, there's two buildings. It's that building over there would be power since that's where all the solar panels are. We have this right here, which is a little robot friend. He's going to end up falling in water, making a swim. We want to retrieve him. Okay. Now that that's been sorted, what does our loadout look like? Oh, rifle. We have more boots than we really need for carrying around. Right. May not have as many boots as we. So let's visit the boombox. Do the sounds. Okay. Our taser is severely under. So we will come over here and read the contextual menu. Plug in our taser and then try and get it into a shadow. That I'm gonna have to take it on faith with the charge. Minor right about font contrast. Okay. That is where we want to put basic power. There are bugs in there. Yep. And there's bugs in there. You can tell this is the way the door's corroded like that. Okay. These bugs. Now, the little ones are going to swarm me as soon as I go up there, and then that thing will need to be dealt with. Okay. I've got to save. I save before going and doing something spectacularly stupid. Hold down Y to quick save. Wait for the pop-ups. Ignore the thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening. Can't recall where that comes from. Alright. Yeah, you see. Yeah, here we go. Come on. Yeah. There we go. Alright. These are going to more. I'm going to sweep along the base here. What I'm going to do is get all of the little legs and all of the black butt, and then that will. This is going to pop as soon as I hit it, the blue bit. What I'm going to do is sweep along the legs. Yeah. Switch back to the left. There's no coming. All right. if I'm understanding the physics of this correctly, is that these little tendrils are like triggers, and you have to get all of them in order to render the middle vulnerable. The base is the middle vulnerable, the nub where everything actually respawns from. And that's in addition to all of this. So this over here, it didn't vanish until I got that back. Well, at least I think that's it. The bulb is superfluous to its degree. Once it's spawned its little minions, and all this kind of stuff. There we go. Alright. Now there may be others lurking around, and obviously whatever's going on in there. So what do you want? You want iron plastic, all the basics. Yeah, and then a little bit of everything. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blocks. Right. And those will have third materials in them. Is there anything new? There's no corrosion on the outside, which usually means it's fairly safe. Go ahead and down. Alright. There may be goodies in there. Or it could just be that stuff. Okay. Alright, there's something in there. Oh, I think this is a room that you can only get to by swimming around. Go down that ladder and swim up. You do that. Okay. And I don't want to think about what's inside that building. The oil rig had a swear about an entire room of these nasty little acid spitting bugs. 3 whole floors of this entire building. Why are you doing that to me again? Battery tag. Mm-hmm. You need to build a stack boxes to get up there. Okay. Now I'm going to need some repair materials. Let us. You don't have anything. Let's deposit. And we are actually indicate the people there. Okay. So let's do split you. Let's take 25 of each. I think for this level that should be enough. Yes, I know, heavy. Do you need polyurethane? No, just take 5. Polyurethane is very heavy and very hard. Grab you. Everything in here will take the bulk, so instead of the cell phone, Over, those are overflow boxes. I almost never need gold, so we can do for now. Go ahead and I can my left with my back. All right. The sun is going down and so this is going to generate interest in what we're doing. A variety of critters. Where's that? Where's that? Okay, well, that way. It has to be connected to the battery in order to charge the pistol. I'm just going to assume the power stopped flowing. That is the end of that. I can see that these things have a tendency to turn off that. Alright, which stairs my phone. Now, this has a proximity on it, and so if I come over here, I don't have to have it in my inventory. Yep. All the different things you can do with these. You can repair them and use them. And you can repair them and break them down. I think you're using them. You almost have to have batteries set up. You can't use the big batteries once they're in place. They're in place. So I'm not entirely sure. I need more plastic. If the box is too far away, yeah, I just need plastic. The range on that box is pretty impressive. That may be coming, I wonder. Don't walk off the edge. There we go. I wonder if moving the larger industrial objects like batteries are going to get easier when they implement the forklifts, which they have said is coming. And then the updates. There will be an update here in December, probably in a couple of weeks. Just yep. Where batteries or where forklifts fit into that. Alright, you're all done. I'm going out of iron in a minute entirely. That is gone. Keep meaning to soundtrack and back this game. Sometimes there is music and sometimes there isn't. Alright, that's the last of the iron. Anything else should hold up to have everything within reach of the object. You can't deposit a little bit of plastic and then come back with the iron. Yeah. That music is the music of witches. Coming. Actually, let me take more of the light. It was making that at a regular level. Yep, get off, get off. Really no reason for that. I could have just walked away from it, but it was bugging me. Right. Solar panels. You're repaired already. There we go. All right. Seriously? Get off me. Get off me. These things are so gross. Okay. Just keep fine. Poop in there too. Take my box back. Wow, wait. We might want up here if we have to. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Get off me. Really? Yep. They don't like light. That's what's going on. And I don't like them. Alright. That was the cable splitter here. You know, I don't need this right now. It's just Actually, once they get a grip on these, they seem to vanish. Put off me. Wait till sunrise before I go back downstairs. Yeah, you better run. Here. It's time for you. Okay. Alright, those are activated. So, what is these things? It would be nice to are these which all right, let's go back. Where'd my box go? Let me get some more cable. The other thing I would like to be able to move are those splitters. You can sort of give them a little bit of a wobble and straighten them out, but you can't pick them up once they're down. I suspect it's so that the wires don't get really tangled, but a number of times you have to unplug everything, demolish the splitter. I forgot about the net. The net is only half. Oh, I don't have any cable. All right, fine. Well, the net drags along behind the boat and collects a little bit of basic materials. With this outlet, it's easier to keep quiet. Let's try and power off the boat. My diesel is quite good because I almost never use it. And my electric from the solar and wind on the deck is quite good. It's fairly mid, honestly. It's not top of the line solar, but I don't have a lot of stuff running off it compared to some setups I've seen. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We want him because he's holding one of these papers, which is what's called a memory. You want to get over there and get it. Preferably not at nighttime because you're going to jump into the water. All right. No. Next. And connect. Okay. So that is all that. And we are going to probably be able to survive that. Let's there. Right there. Take you over here. And put you there. Now, this building should have power. But this door is not going to open until we clear out whatever's inside. What does this door look like? This door is not going to open. All right, let's see what we can see. There are no more doors. There's nothing up on the roof. I think this is the part where you're supposed to drop it. Yeah. Ordinarily, if you power the building, this turns on, but I suspect it's not actually powered. I suspect that this building actually has the switch, and there is no way into it without the power being. All right. House rules. We are going to say before we go underwater. I've seen this done. I've never attempted to do it myself. Is that close enough? Light. And I think you have to come down. Make these ladders. Not this one. Nope. Try one of the other ones. I thought it was coming up on this side. Oh. New mechanics this time are a little more fluid than they usually. You should not be there. I wonder where I picked that up. Here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They all come into play. Oh, amazing. All right. Here we go. All right. And this is under here. Yeah, I did go down a lot. Come on. Come on. That's awesome. Yeah, awesome. All right. Gotcha. And you went to job properly. Yeah. Most all of these doors, if they don't put a handle on the outside, and having them inside, do not fall. These things don't like to lay flat. Get off me. Alright. Just enough. Take out here. And, oh, because it needs to be connected to that's what's up. So once I have power, I should be able to open all the doors. So power cable, power cable goes here. And here. And we need gold, we need iron. We have like 1 of 3. 3 and 4. Right? Game is usually pretty good about getting these things, but it looks like you have to go back to the ship. Now I'm wondering about leeches in here. I guess if you have the lights on, then it's less of an issue. Right. Yeah. Okay. That wasn't so. Okay. Yeah. Here you. Not. Okay. What we have here is a bunch of stuff that we play with. Well, that's what. See, there's plenty of things. I just didn't look long enough. All right. If you point the cursor essentially at that little square and change the color, it actually help much. But it'll give you color. There's me. And there's the one person I moved to space. There's some log data from all of the stuff that I picked up, but it's so hard to read. All right, so the next step that happens on any given one of these spaces is first arrive, second turn on power, third clear out codes, which in this case, yeah. That's fine. Where is the... There are no lights in here? I guess not. Okay. Wrong type of ammo, but okay. Alright. That is that area cleared out. Now the fun begins. This is actually Let's say where. Where's our little friend? Wow, this is the implemented turrets. This. All right, we lost the memory, and that is still floating. What? A memory float? As we all thought before, so. Well. What I've seen happen is you knock down and then you can retrieve the memory before it sinks, but I guess it sunk anyways. Oh well. I think this is the sort of space that we should just go ahead and we could do this. Okay. This is where a soundtrack would come in handy. Another alternative is to set up a fabricator, or not a fabricator, set up a recycler on the dock, and then you can just chuck everything in. Considering how long it takes, I don't know. It seems like this is quicker to me because otherwise you have to lift and move everything. What I anticipate doing is taking all of this back to Lazarus Complex and then wiring the whole place for water and getting the food set up. So while I ordinarily I'm gonna wait until. So on my way out, when I was first playing, I skipped a lot of the in-betweeny bits. What did I do? I'm gonna take everything. I skipped a lot of the places like this because they were getting in the way. I wanted to go hit up the big spots before the little bits. Yeah. And then wait for that to finish. I wanted to hit all of the big spots and do the main story, which has been done. So I'm kind of cleaning up behind myself at this, waiting for that to be finished. I'm moving up to see if I can see the body of it. Not just making sure. And drop. Drop. It was empty. Oh, you must have consolidated. Gold. The other thing I plan on doing is leaving a lot of this overflow boxes on Lazarus. So all of these, all the copper, most of the polyurethane. Don't need that much polyurethane. I don't know what really they expect us to do with it. I guess it's used for solar panels. But I have yet to run into a situation where I need that many. All right. Give me. Let me go ahead and top myself off. That it will fill while you're sitting still. It fills faster if you are moving the boat, obviously. But it does fill while you're sitting still. Right. Speaking of repairs, the boat to be repaired. Actually, not. Just a little. The wind turbines break down a lot faster than anything else. A lot of people have given up and just, well, not given up exactly. They've made the executive decision not to use the wind turbines because they constantly have to bid. And oh, that reminds me, there are 5 solar panels on the roof I can check. I've not picked any fights with the sharks. I did have to pick a couple fights with the manatees once, the angels. You're in good shape. You're in good shape. These are just the little baby solar panels. Obviously not doing anything in the middle of the night. They're just kind of very passive. Let's think about where we wanted to go next. Okay, this is us, Helios Reserve Orion. I should probably write that down. I need it in a minute. Okay. Want to go back to Lazarus eventually. I'm tempted to swing south even if I don't explore it fully and take a look at this, which is some sort of depot warehouse, maybe. It has the same icon as the sanctuary dock where you started, but I've yet to find another building that looks like that. So I don't know what's actually over there. Then I do want to set up Lazarus. The next things that tend to happen is you want to go to these seed vaults. Now, the original seed vault was Prometheus. This one was a building that was above sea level that you had to have the code to get into. It was a whole big thing. You had to go down into one of these graves, which are underwater buildings. But I don't know for the new seed vault if that's something that you have to do or if these are just extra spaces or level ups if you want to at this point. Which I haven't decided about the graves. They're kind of eerie and creepy, and they're very effective, but they're not very enjoyable. So I'm not really looking forward to going back down underwater. You kind of have to for some of these, but the graves themselves don't interest me too much. They're like skyscrapers on the ocean floor. I've seen a couple people explore them. I almost wonder if there's even they're not like just you just go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then that's it. That's all you have. It's just floor after floor. But I haven't looked closely enough. This is another habitat node or a warehouse of some kind. We hit up a couple of these. This habitat node had pink slime. This one had little critters. This one I sailed past, but it was looking pretty impressive, so I didn't go in. This northern part of the map is it's not late game content because the game will send you to it pretty early to get to the seed vault, but it's a bit more complex. The spaces are more complex than the ones that kind of down in the southern and middle of the map, or at least they seem so. So I may roll down and see what this actually looks like and then decide whether I want to clear it out or just go back to Lazarus. Hey, it's daytime. All right. While we've been talking, and so what I'm doing is just connecting myself to the power source and going after whatever the board will extend to. So it will probably reach this side of the complex, no problem. I will dismember the scraps. Dismantle, sorry, not dismember. We'll do the rooms separately. This method does require you to occasionally make sure you're not wrapping the cable around other objects. Okay. No. Sure there's nothing else up there. We have plenty of rubber, so I'll leave you alone for a moment. I do tend to leave the big boxes too. They can come in handy sometimes. Sometimes the ambient noise will not connect. So, the cable. That was what it was. It was the cable route. Nothing is sneaking up on me. Very few things sneak up on me. That's one of the reasons the leeches are so dangerous. Because you're barely doing your business, and then all of a sudden something is like Let me eat you. Seem to have, I don't know, 20 meters of cable, and I'm able to reach almost the entire dock here. I'm getting 1 XP for everything that I hit up. Okay. I think, yeah, see, I wrapped it around the pylon and now it is not letting me go any further. But if I unwrap it from the pylon, or I can't quite get that far. Yeah, I'm at 24 meters. Usually the cables will stretch about 20 meters. Ooh, I've also wrapped around this box of this. I wonder. There we go. Okay. These things are 2 metal scraps, but they cost so much in time. Oh, pain in the butt. Okay. Off. Out. You over here next to your friend's petrol container. Grab that. Grab that. And drop all. It is possible to put things in here without turning it on. Okay. And now it will just wait until it has power. So biomatter, that's something else I want to play with if I go back to Lazarus, because they have a very minimal kind of farming mechanic of some kind. I'm looking for boxes. Because in order to get up into these things, it helps to stand. This is why you leave the boxes for the end. Right. Okay, I'm going to try something really quickly. To change a setting somewhere else completely and see if that makes any difference. Don't know that it does. Okay. Right, so jump up here, jump over here. And what? And then there. Aha! A broken angel. the ordinary course of things, this might be the first time you saw one. So if you were still early game, these are worth it. They're expensive to break down, but there's that little line that said high-tech scraps. That's what I'm talking about. Gotta not get yourself boxed in. Sorry. Dreamer humor, I'm sure. I wonder if there'll be like dad jokes someday. There'll be like little books of streamer humor. I know like there's little books of dad jokes. So I like closing these containers. Sneeze alert. Hold on a second. False alarm. All right. So, is this also have stuff in it? Try pulling a wire from down there. Or I could just burn my battery. Hello, robot friend. Goodbye, robot friend. See, he has tech scraps, but the broken angel had high-tech scraps. And every now and then you run across something that has ultra high-tech scraps. It almost looks like there's something back there that might have it. Yeah. I have to dismantle your way back to it. Oh, a moment. All right. I'm going to regret not being tethered in a minute because I suspect I don't remember seeing this necessarily, but I put money back. Down there's something behind that metal plate. And just was all the fuss. You could dig it out. You could just move things. And there we go. So if you see that box in the center of the screen, that is an aged Lazarus file. And it gives you ultra high tech, and tech scraps in addition to all the others. Here's the thing. And you really should write them down. A little while I was saving them like if they were repairable, but they're not. That is the game giving you things you're going to need. But they're very expensive in terms of electricity costs to break down. So I am going to be at full charge before I go do that. But definitely worth it. That's this blue container, shipping container over in the corner. All right. Similar to, they're very heavy too. You may as well do this. Similar to that broken angel that was up, you had to climb up to it very carefully. Worth it. We'll drop you all. My headlamp anymore. See that? We have a box of these. Those angels give you the bio flesh, which when you run it through the food processor is quite valuable. That's why I have my separate little box of brains. All right, what else do I have on? Okay. I don't think I'll be needing that. Apologies for the recycler noise. There's really not another convenient plug. All right. You can tell it's charging because you can see the power going through it. If you bring it out, it's at 100%. Okay. Are you still processing? Or are you done? Okay, what did we get? I reached level 22. Go me. There is a level cap, from what I can tell, at level 25, at least at the moment. This is less than a month after early access. Ooh, the pink one and the blue one, those are good. So that level cap is probably, I mean, I would guess it's going to rise as they start adding more stuff. Very low on iron. I'm anemic. I need more iron resources, but I end up getting way more copper. All right, these are my rare and uncommon. This is rare carbon fiber and titanium. They are blue, and you can notice the bright pink neutronium and the blue plasma gel. Those are artifact ones. All right. So the sun is going down again, which means we just all right, what do we got? More empty. Yes. What is that? Yep. Wow, you need to be broken down, but you're going to end at Reach Central in a moment. There's a variety of things in here, but the really good stuff is over on the other side. Actually, stack you over here until the leeches show up. Just consolidate. This is why I don't like setting up the recycler, because there's all this camera swing back and forth as I am carrying things around. Got this stuff, and maybe get some of the stuff out of that secondary room. Okay. One thing that I have not seen that is very interesting to me is I have not seen anything respawning. If you neglect to clear out some things, like if you don't get rid of all of the bulbs and they respawn, that's different than if you leave a area and then come back to it and all of the resources respawn. In a lot of other games that I play, you just sleep for a couple of days and then like all the trees have grown back. That is not how this game seems to be functioning, which is very interesting to me. I'm not going to get the best piece by piece. We'll come back with a grinder and get. Nothing's coming at me. I'll have to grind some of this up. So I'm wondering how that changes. Well, that changes strategy. Because if this is it, this is the only resources that anyone ever gets, there's going to have to be a way later on. I mean, obviously, the dragging of the net is renewed. Like, there's always stuff floating in the ocean. So if you're cruising around in the boat, you will always be getting a little bit of scrap. But in terms of nodes or mines or spaces where there's just an endless flow, I'm not really seeing them anywhere in the game. Those underwater spaces that they call graves have a little bit of stuff that can be picked up, but it's very thin on the ground. And there are floating buoys that sort of bobble past that have materials. You kind of wonder where they're coming from. I think that's part of the story. You all go ahead and this way because at least as far as I can tell, there's nothing else in here that I need to get to. All right, so your dog. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Get away. All right. It's obviously leech o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and go downstairs. Do some recycling. Wait him out till morning. Right. Actually, you can go in there. This is my box that will essentially just this is my box that will essentially just pull when I'm standing up and repairing the wind turbines. It's just got a little bit of everything. Yep. Grab the cable myself. Reel it in. It's almost a full box of iron. This is assuming a full box of copper. You use the copper for bullets, and you use the copper for cabling. So rubber and copper get used for some different hoses, I think. All right. So we're about an hour and 15 minutes, which suggests that this particular run, I guess I could go over there because the lights are on up there. And there is power here. Let's get over. For sure what to do with this. Theoretically, this is more diesel, like it doubles my diesel. The diesel tank has 1999 out of 2000, but that the boat is 2000 liters. So what is that diesel tank adding? Is it another 2000 liters? And then there's, I believe, about 4,000. I kind of like sunrise. All of the leeches will be dead soon. Okay. Let's get started in here. Lots of goodies. Fabric is a resource to keep your eye on. Those bags have it, and so do the chairs. Work tables. All right. These traffic cones have plastic. That hatch really should have a door. That's all I'm saying. All right, that's part of the environment. So from the point that I rolled up to about now, about an hour and a half, probably going to be done. The other thing to consider is, do we leave the solar panels and wind turbines behind? As far as I can tell, there's no particular reason to come back here. And if your boat wasn't properly powered, you could put batteries here and roll up and sort of refuel your on-ship batteries. But I'm not seeing the use case for that as of yet. Oh, I forgot to say goodbye to my robot friend. Goodbye, robot friend. Yeah, the petrol station, I can see keeping that powered because there's a bunch of tanks there that at the very least, if you filled them up, or if you wanted to set up a generator, you would just load all of your biofuel into the generator, create your own diesel petrol, and it would be right there. But this place is a little less obvious in terms of what you do with it. There's another tank. I think there might have been something. Okay. These are lootable. If you line them up properly, you're looking for the action button to change from connect to loot. That's the key. Was there anything wrong? Usually there's something. It's scrap. More scrap. So, okay, back to that. The batteries are making me heavy. They can be looted, those little canisters. They can also be put into a box. But like I say, they are very heavy. That box is full at this point. Also, all trash. There's just a little bit on the roof, and then we're done. We probably have time to swing by that other platform and just see what it is. Running and then come up here and save doors. There we go. Who's going to sit there? You can make the canisters. They come in handy sometimes. Jump up there, do the ladder. All right. As I would say, you could break down all of those and scavenge their parts, the wind turbines and the solar panels. Do you get if they're repaired to 100%, you will get all of the parts out of them, which means that you take them back, and instead of having to burn resources making new ones, we just set up the old ones. And then you wouldn't really have a reason to get back here. Dodge the water. There we go. Because someplace like this, unless I'm mistaken, does not draw a lot of power. And there's no battery bank or anything. Oh, I forgot about those. Okay, a little bit long. I think I will break down. Well, the solar panels last without a battery. If you rolled up and there was no wind turbine, you wouldn't be able to open any of the doors until morning. And see, you stand on these flat pallets, metal or plastic, and try to use anything, they rattle. It's a weird little bit of physics. All right, so this should be the last thing except for whatever I want to do. Now, let's see, there are 5 of you. Let's dismantle at least one. See, it's going to give me back 2 solar cells, 1 conductor cord, 1 logic chip, and 2 alloy frames. If you're dismantling something that is busted, yeah, there they are in my inventory. If you're dismantling something that is busted, actually, let's leave one setup of each. So it's 3 solar panels. It's a bit extraneous. And 3 wind turbines. Oh, have you been sitting there that whole time and I never connected you? Well, sucks to be you. They're coming down. I just threw it. And right, Lazarus complex is where we will eventually add up. And I wonder if that is that habitat, or if that is the diesel platform I was just at. That is a beacon, that smudge on the horizon. Okay. All the doors are closed except that hatch on the ground, which there's not much we can do about. I think that's just about it. All right. Often told hidden bits. Someone else can explore them. But I'm just going to move it all along. Okay. All of you here. Forward, deposit. And then you need for when I need you. One last tour of the resource boxes. Yeah. Go on then. Yeah. I'm going to film that, rebuild it. Okay. I don't have any rifle slam. Siri says no, I do. I have to make some. I don't like making it because it chews up iron. Maybe I'll shift back to the electric pistol. The electric rifle. And the bolt pistol. Inventory. One. The holster. There, we'll split you. Check. And recharge. Walk to electric rifle. Yep. Great. Yeah. It should be. Oop. This needs to be empty before we go anywhere. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Naturally, it is raining. It is always raining when I want to go somewhere. It's particularly fun when you're rolling up on a new point of interest trying to dock the boat and it decides to rain. You can't see where you're going. All right. One last top up. You know what? The leeches can take care of themselves. There's absolutely no reason for the soundtrack to be that excited. All right. I'm going to swing south. Doesn't look like it's moving, but it really is. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There we go. Right. We're clear. This being horror stories, there were, of course, a variety Disney horror stories. This being early access, there are horror stories about the boats getting stuck on you. All right. I think that is that thing that I was looking at before. That is that dog. Nearly blew up my foot. That is a lamb right off to the side. That is a shark. They tend to just kind of ignore you unless you go at them. I do like the way the music kicks in. But I wonder about variety. A bit different tunes for different weather conditions, different times of day. Will there be a radio station that we can choose from? That would be fun. I mean, it's a robot. He could choose his own soundtrack if he wanted. I, the robot. I, robot. There's me. Gonna take, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. Good night. Less than a kilometer now. supernaturally rolling up on a dark and stormy night to an unknown location that I have no clue what's going on. Right. What the hell is he doing? Not actually, so a bunch of lines out the side. All right, first turn off the beacons because we don't need them anymore. And we'll see that. Around here. Okay. That's a ridiculous amount of lines. What on earth is there? I could get out my sniper rifle and clear a path. Usually you have trouble telling the difference between, well, it's not really trouble, but there's two types of red floaters. One is the ones that spit the leeches. The other are the mines. Granted, I haven't actually run my ship over ones, so I don't know. I'm taking it on faith that they blow up because, let's face it, that's not the kind of thing you want to experiment with. Well, that's not the kind of thing I want to experiment with. It's entirely possible that folks might. So I haven't seen anybody doing it. That is a floater. That's a spitter over there. So is that one probably. But the mines itself, we're becoming a bit suspicious of the fact that everything uses the same color scheme. All right. At least one of you is going to have to come out. And this is the sort of thing that are done during the day. It's leech o'clock. That is midnight-ish. I mean, sniper rifle. Sniper's ammo is hella expensive. You want to be mindful of that. High value targets. I don't know if these are really high value targets. I do have some of you. But those might be handy if I needed. You can use the bolt rifle on it, but it will take getting a little closer. All right. 5. Wait for the sun to come up. And see if we can nudge a little closer, at least figure out what the name of it is. If I know what the name of it is, I can look it up. Oh. That thing's just floating. No more leeches from you. Right. Always use the fabricator. One, two, three. This could end up like one of those situations where you hoard your sniper rifle ammo until the very end of the game and realize you probably should have just used it. It did come in handy on Black Vein. That was one of the last major points of interest. It's a oil rigging platform and oil drilling platform. It was a pain in the butt to clear out. There was one element that really needed this time to get a good beat on. All right. Let's see if we can hit the line. Or declare one out around another platform. And we can actually shoot them. There we go. Let's do this one. Why, game? Why with the weather? It's two of them. I'm standing out here like a little robotic lightning rod. Wave action on the boat is a bit absurd. As I said before, it is sometimes hard to know whether to be impressed that they went through so much trouble or just sort of clutch your little robot stomach and wait for it to end. We are talking about accessibility issues, and they are going to be looking into that. Part of the wave action, as you saw, I just had to compensate for the motion of the ocean when I was aiming. You just kind of have to deal with it. The question becomes, at what point does get good conflict with this, but I don't need to take Dramamine before I play your video game, do I? Okay. So I didn't actually need my rifles, although I imagine I'm going to need it once I get a little closer. It is daylight. And the waves are no longer rocking us forward. And let's at least see about docking. I mean, we haven't even triggered the soundtrack to tell us what this thing is. But we don't have to worry about that. The fog moves in. Of course it does. Again, weather. There's no way to see where I'm going. We're waiting this one out. Yeah, the weather is just part of the rhythm of the game that you learn to compensate for. I do sometimes wish that it was not quite so variable. For example, if there was a way of telling how long this is likely to last. They give you a bunch of gauges. If you knew what they meant, it to tell you how long this kind of nonsense was going to be going on. But there's no weather app, so to speak, which tells you what any of this means, which the robot would know, because it would do the math internally. On the other hand, the human player, unless you are a weatherman, does not know these things. This looks like some sort of warehouse. Central Warehouse Alpha. Right, yeah. Getting out of here is going to be a bit of a nightmare. It's just park. Gosh. It's going to take a minute. No obvious spitters. Is my alarm clock. Tell me that it is 7 a.m. Might be, oh, you spit bugs. Right. Let's park over here. Corner. Away from the spitters. Let's take a look. That one spits what I call skitter bugs. They're little green acid spitting wretched little things. Not fun to deal with. Because I tend to travel in packs. Alright. Go up the stairs once. I always take the ladder over there. I don't know why. Okay. Lift the anchor. And what over there? There's nothing up there except the boxes. There's something that spits hornets on that side of the rig. There's another one over there. It's down there in between that. There's another one over there. And another one. Oh, bugger snot. That is a roller. That has a nasty tendency to pop to life. If you roll the balls off you. Okay. So, I think I'm going to need some of that fancy ammo. I'm glad I looked around. Because more than one of those stupid things have snuck up on me. You're just merrily minding your own business, and all of a sudden something's machine gunning you. Well, except for the time I was merrily minding my own business and something started shooting laser beams at me. That needs to be taken care of first, and that is going to be taken care of from the boat. It wasn't such a pain in the ass to. That is a job for the rifle, though, and I can usually withstand whatever it throws at me. Nope. All right, so here's what we do. First of all, back up. Yeah, we are going to connect ourselves to the boat. And we're going to connect ourselves to the rifle. It is charging. Right, we're at a bit of a disadvantage down here. Here. Let's see if we can piss it off. There it goes. What kind are you? Seriously? That was way easier than it usually was. Now I'm like drifting away. Oh, because I was moored, but I wasn't. I wasn't anchored. All right, I take it back, electric rifle. You are, in fact, the man. Yeah, I moored and then I lifted the anchor and then I got so busy doing other things that I found him. All right. Yeah, not so tough now, are you? Ooh, high-tech scraps. That just leaves the spitters. I think, too, that if you are connected to the power, that the electric rifle is stronger, maybe? I guess I could test that theory. All right. Let's go see about... Well, all right. Let's do the bit when we drop the anchor and then release the line. Lift the anchor. That's probably too far away. Ooh, that's one of those. Is that a buoy? Or another line? I think that's a buoy out there. All right. Lift the anchor. Drop the anchor. And then release the line here. Yeah. Seriously, again? Okay. Let's see how well I do against these things. All right. A closer one? What thunder from over there? That is unnecessary. All right. Let's see. Which one do you? Yes, those spitters, yes. For you. Let's get rid of spitters. He responded. Right. Jitterbugs. Okay. Connect to electric pistol. Connect to self. Recharge. While it is doing that, I think we need this. It just does way more damage to these. Yeah, I know. Get off me. All right. pissed off something else. There's that in the middle there. Anything else down here? My mad rifle slam is unfortunate because it's very useful. And the sun's down. I think I'm happy. Okay. I actually think, first of all, I'm going to deposit. We're going to save. I think I'm going to call it for today and sort out my business over here off screen because there's going to be an awful lot of making things, staring at machinery. And we will come back tomorrow and clear out the warehouse and see what else is there. Alrighty. In the meantime, go ahead and say thank you for watching. I will go ahead and make the VOD for this live, and I also copy these over to my YouTube channel, although it is a little bit behind. I'm still going through Black Vein on the YouTube channel, which that was 3 videos. The first one was painful. I died several times. The second one was less painful. I did, however, fall off the ladder 5 times, 6 times. And that might be mild exaggeration. Anyways, you can find me over there as well. I will see you later. Thanks for watching.